Hey there. Well, I thought I would make a video to let everybody know about my week. Some of you may have already seen my video that I did, I'm pretty sure it was the last video I did, about my ceiling collapsing. And so this whole entire past week has been all about trying to take care of all of that. And it has been crazy. But at least now I have a ceiling again, and I have all new ceilings because the damage was so bad in there that they just decided to redo the entire place. So it was a week ago yesterday, on Sunday. It was on Mother's Day when it collapsed on me. And the whole week it just seemed to drag on and on. It was so crazy. I mean, it was like they showed up, to start tearing out all of the ceilings, which I wasn't planning on, because originally they said we're going to just do this side where the ceiling fell, and then you can kind of move over into that little area while we're doing the rest of it. Well, the day they show up, they're like, we're going to rip all of it out. And I wasn't prepared. I had everything cleared out in there. Everything was ready for them to work in there. But nothing was ready in here, which is like the main area of the house. So I was just like, oh my God. So I'm like, we're running around, trying to quickly put all of my stuff like in the middle of the room, and then cover everything with tarps and stuff so that, because they're tearing down the ceiling. So, and that's my cat Biscuit in the background, meowing. So anyway, so they're, they tear down all this stuff, and there is just dust and debris everywhere. And it was just like, oh my gosh. And when you look at it, you just think it's never going to be over with, because it looks like there's just so much to do. And so they were working on that. It was kind of weird because it was like the first day these two guys showed up, and they did worked all day taking the stuff down, but they didn't even show up until like 10:30 in the morning or something. Or I think no, the first day it was like 9:30 or something when they showed up. And I'm somebody that likes to get started early, and I thought they'd be here like 7, 8 o'clock. But no, it was more like 9:30. So anyway, they worked all day. And then the second day, they both showed up around 10:30. And then left. They both left at like noon and didn't come back until 2:30, and only one came back. So I'm like, it's going to be a lot, twice as much work for one person. And now, half the day is gone already. And they were, originally they said they would be finished by that second day. Well, no. So anyway, and then on the third day, just the one guy showed up again. Excuse me. So just the one guy shows up, and I'm like, oh my God. And he was here all day long, and he hadn't installed my kitchen light, which is the light I have on right now. And they installed new ceiling lights, but they are like spotlights. They are so bright. And I like warm light. You can get the cool light and you can get the warm light. Well, I like the warm light better. Excuse me. I've been dealing with dust all week long, so if I have to clear my throat or if I cough or something, I'm sorry. I'll try to edit it if I can. But he didn't install my light, and so anyway, on the third day he said he was going to come back in the afternoon. Well, he didn't show up until like almost 6 o'clock, and it was getting dark. And he's in there, and he's doing an electrical job, so he has to turn the power off, and it was like dark in here. Thankfully, I happen to have a headlamp, one of those flashlights you wear on your head. So he puts that on, and then he was like, he didn't know how to put it in, because it wasn't the type of light that he's used to, because it's an LED, and I guess he's just used to like fluorescence or something, although these are LEDs that they put in the ceiling. But anyway, so he couldn't do it, so he's like, well, I'll have to come back tomorrow. I have to go get somebody to show me how to do it. So he takes the light with him, whatever. So anyway, and all during this, by the way, my cats were staying next door because it's a vacant bungalow at the moment. And so they were staying over there. I could not stay there. I will not go into details, but I couldn't stay there. So they were staying there, and I was staying here amongst the debris, and, you know, well, not really the debris, because they got that out, you know, pretty much quickly. But I was in here with all the dust and everything, and so I was constantly, like, cleaning to try to get some of it up. But anyway, I stayed here, they stayed there. And then on that next morning, when he was supposed to come back, you know, the day he was supposed to come back with the light, I had gotten up extra early and went out to do my errands bright and early, because, you know, on the days that they showed up over here, it was 9:30, 10:30, you know, it was late in the day. So I figured, you know, they probably won't, or he won't show up until later. So wouldn't you know, I'm on my way back from my errands, because I'm on a bicycle, which he knows what I look like, and he knows I ride this pink bicycle. I'm turning onto my street and turning right in front of him, and he's leaving. And I come home, and I'm thinking he's going to turn around and come back because he saw me, you know, because I wasn't here when he came back to install the light. No, he didn't. I was like, what the heck, man? So I know he saw me, and I asked the landlady, you know, I'm like, was he here? And she's like, yeah, he was going to install it, but he couldn't get in. So I'm like, oh, great. So then I had to wait for him to come back again, which he did, but again, it was like, you know, going on 6 o'clock at night by the time he came back. But this time he at least knew how to install it, and he got it installed. And so I was like, oh, thank God. So it was like and during this day, that was the day that the landlady and I painted the ceilings. That was fun. I have really high ceilings in this house, and so it's like, in order to reach the ceiling, you have to get on a really tall ladder, or that big long, it's like kind of like a sawhorse, but it's like a long plank thing that painters use, I guess. It was made out of wood, you know, it was like handmade or whatever, but, you know, they stand on it to do ceiling work. So they had left that here, you know, and the tarps and stuff were still here. So anyway, the landlady and I were painting the ceilings, which was extremely hard. I mean, it is so hard to paint ceilings. I mean, because you've got your neck all bent back, and we were trying to make these makeshift extension sticks, you know, for the roller and stuff. And I was kind of using it, but it was a little on the wobbly side, so I was like, I had paint in my hair. I mean, I was just covered in paint. But anyway, I spent the day doing that. And then the next day, we started painting the walls. So, you know, which I don't mind doing that. But the problem is that I'm really, really picky. And it's like, I want clean lines, you know, where the wall meets the ceiling. I want clean lines as much as possible. I mean, it's never going to be perfect. And especially because here I've never even seen painter's tape. So we didn't have painter's tape. We just had to do it freehand. And so I had to spend most of my time, which I love actually painting. Okay, I love to paint, but I prefer painting walls. You know, I like rolling the roller on the walls and stuff. And to me, that's very ASMR. I mean, I enjoy that a lot. But she did all that she did most of it in the other room. Because in here, this wall I have over here, which is also the same on the other side, is like these plank kind of things. So, well, that was great. I just stopped my recording by accident, and so I'm starting back. But anyway, this wall is like these planks, so you can't really use the roller on it as well. You have to use a paintbrush, which is so time consuming. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I spent the whole day painting, and then I still wasn't done, and I was running out of paint. So I was like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't run out of paint. The next day, she showed up eventually, hours after I had already started, and I'm like, you don't really need to do anything because I'm almost done. She still came in and helped with a few places, but I spent so much time and effort trying to get that ceiling line as neat as I could possibly get it, and going around on the ceiling and doing touch-up work on the little bits that, paint didn't get covered all the way. And so I spent 3 days, from morning until late at night, painting and painting and painting. Finally got it all finished because I ran out of paint, and so there's like a couple of areas that really need to be painted still, but luckily I purposely left certain areas that's kind of covered by stuff so you don't really see it, so that I can make sure I had enough paint for all the parts that you do see, So, and some areas needed a second coat. Some weren't so bad, but other areas needed a second coat, and there's still places in here that could use a second coat. But anyway, it's fine. I'm just not going to worry about it because I spent 3 days painting. Then it was, getting everything back in place and cleaning. And there is just no end to the dust. It just does not stop. I will go and I will dust something. I will clean it off. Like wipe it down, with cleaner and stuff. And I'll go do something else, and I'll come back by and there's a layer of dust already on it. So it's like, even though you don't really see any dust like in the air, it's there because it is still falling down on everything. And I'm like, are you kidding? And then I finally got to use my 360 spin mop, which I did a video on. It was like an unboxing video for the spin mop, but I hadn't gotten to use it because I had just gotten it, and then things were happening, so I didn't get around to mopping the floors, which was a good thing considering it would have been useless. So I didn't get to use it until after all of this, so I finally got to use that, and I mopped in there twice, and it didn't even look like I had touched it. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I'm going to have to just kind of keep mopping it until it finally goes away. And I've had to get down on the floor with like a scrubby pad and, scrub some of the little paint blotches and stuff. And there's still some around because some of it's like, just little tiny drops that you can see if you really look. You can tell that they're there. But I'm just like, oh my gosh. Oh, and then today I was like doing laundry. Yesterday and today I was doing loads and loads of laundry because I couldn't wash. I didn't really, I wasn't concerned about washing my clothes this week because I was constantly wearing like paint clothes and, yucky clothes on purpose. And then I had to wash all the bedding, all of the rugs and everything because, dust was just on everything. And so I had to wash all that stuff. Finally got all the laundry done, got everything put away, and it's pretty much back to normal and done, with the exception of that I'm still having to keep doing, cleaning up more dust all the time. But at least the majority of it's done. I did have to replace some curtains in that front area because the curtains that were up there, they get the sun on it like the majority of the day, and so they were getting brittle and they were kind of ripped and they just weren't looking too good, even though I loved the curtains. I really did. I loved them. And but I needed to get something to put up there because I didn't want to, after all this hard work to get everything looking so pretty with the new paint and everything, I didn't want to put up ripped up curtains, so I just had to buy some little cheap, I mean really cheap kind of curtains, just to have something up there for right now until I can get, a regular curtain. But at least now, I mean, I had talked about doing a walkthrough video, like a house tour, so you could see what it looks like. And that was before any of this happened, so at least now when I do it, I can show you, the new paint and stuff, which is the same color except for the ceiling, because I had a light blue ceiling before. But then when she showed up, she asked me, was this paint okay? Because, she had big buckets of paint from other things that she's painted. And so she had this big bucket with this blue paint. And I was like, oh, yeah, I really like that. It was really a pretty blue. It was a lot deeper and, it was just like a really pretty blue. So it was kind of like a robin's egg blue, but a little more blue, if that makes sense. Because robin's egg blue has a little bit of a greenish, and this is more blue. But anyway, it's really pretty. It actually turned out a lot darker than I thought it would, but I love it. I'm just like, yeah, I love this. And then my walls are yellow, which I'm very happy about, which luckily she had paint left over from when we, the landlady and I, painted the house outside. I mean, we were painting the fences and painting the house, and so the house is yellow and the walls are yellow, but I'm happy with that because it's a happy color for me. It's cheerful and it makes me happy. So I love it, and I hate white walls. I can't stand being in a place where all the walls are white. I mean, no offense to anybody that likes that. I just personally, I'm very colorful, which you will see when you get the house tour. You'll see how colorful I am because I have lots of color in here. Even the landlady said that one day she came in, she was like, oh, lots of color. I'm like, yeah, because it makes me happy. It makes me feel good, and it's like I love to wake up and look around and see all the pretty colors, and it helps me to start my day off feeling happier. So anyway, but thank goodness this stuff is done, with the exception of the cleaning. And I did not get to paint the bathroom. That's the other thing. I wanted to paint the bathroom because it's also got a blue ceiling, the light blue that was in here, and it's got yellow on the walls, but there's mostly tile, so there's not much that really needs to be painted. But I ran out of the dang paint. And I was so hoping I'd have enough to go in there and paint, because whoever painted it before only did one coat, and it's obvious. It's like it really needs to be painted bad. So I'm probably going to have to buy some paint, just go and see about getting the paint myself. And, just paint it, just paint it on sometime when I feel like painting again, which, might not be that long from now, because now that everything else looks nice, I'd like for the bathroom to look nice. But yeah, I've got most of it's come off now, but I don't know if you can see that. And I don't use autofocus because I hate it. I still have my nail polish on from when I did my nail polish video, which was right before all this happened. And I had painted one of my nails yellow, which is still on there, but there's also yellow paint and blue paint, which I was going to take off while I'm doing this video. So I'm just going to take all this off because it's really awful looking. I love that sound. That is so relaxing. This is how I ended up stopping my video before. I had to move the mouse so it didn't go black. Excuse me. But anyway, I'm not going to paint my nails. I just don't really feel like painting anything else right now. I think I'll skip that for now. Should have yeah, some of this paint may not even come off without scraping it off. It's like the nail polish is coming off, but the blue paint. So I don't know if you can see that. It's blue paint. Oh, and there is a cricket right outside my window that's starting to chirp. So I apologize if it starts to do the one long chirp that never ends. It's another video that I need to do. Been meaning to for a long time. Video about when you experience ASMR and misophonia, because that's something that I also experience, which is not a good thing at all. It's the complete opposite of ASMR. And that one cricket that just makes that long, constant sound, I can't stand. I actually wrote an article, which you could probably read it. It's on a website called Medium. And I wrote an article. Excuse me, I'm telling you, the dust has really made my throat like this. Anyway, the website's called Medium. And I wrote an article called Tears for a Cricket. And it was an article I wrote the morning after I had killed a cricket that was out there making that one long constant sound that was driving me insane. I was just like, oh my God, I can't take it. But then the next morning I just felt so bad. It was terrible. But anyway, so I wrote an article. So go check it out if you want. It'll be under the name Freedom Forever. But yeah, it's like if it does the like chirp, 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 that's okay. And if it's a whole bunch of crickets at the same time, it's okay. That doesn't bother me. It's that one long thing. But anyway, that's a whole nother video to do, which I've been meaning to for a while. I may have to edit all this out. It might be too loud. And it's interesting because I'm not the only ASMR artist that experiences that. I've actually seen a couple of other ones that have mentioned that they have misophonia as well. Which, when I found out about it, I was so relieved because I just thought I was weird because my whole life I've, had certain sounds that I just literally, it's painful to listen to. I mean, it literally hurts to hear certain sounds. I mean, physically painful. And then I found out about misophonia, and then I'm like, that makes sense now. I understand. You know, it's like, okay, it's not weird. It's like something that happens to a lot of people. But anyway, I don't mean to get off on that. Right now I'm just going to get this paint off my nails. And I feel a sneeze coming on. So I'll probably have to edit that. And I can't pause. I can't pause. For some reason, when I record videos, there's no way to pause it. It's like if you click on it, you just stop it. There's no pausing. So, it makes it a little hard to, just make one video sometimes. Where you just have to try to edit out everything and hope that you don't skip over something. Boy, I hate the smell of nail polish remover. It's so awful. It's like you'd think by now they would come up with some kind of better smell. I think I have seen some scented nail polish remover sometime in the past. But I haven't seen it here where I live. Anyway. Sorry, I guess I could have done that. I'm just trying to see, because I decided not to wear my glasses. So I'm having a hard time seeing what I'm doing. I mean, it looks like I'm getting the nail polish off, but I'm trying to dig the paint out. I'm sure you can hear that cricket, but I'm not going to go kill it. I don't think it stopped completely. Okay, well, I think I got most of it. So, at least that's done. Oh, and the other thing is that when the ceiling fell, my computer was in the far corner where everything fell. Luckily, the computer didn't get hit with the debris, but all of the dust went in it. And so it was like, it's a long story. I talked about it, I think, in that last video where I was talking about it when it happened. I didn't have the cover, like the front or the back, on the computer. They were kind of leaning near it, but they were not on it. And so it was just all white inside. And I had to, like, very carefully, like, brush out a lot of stuff. And then it dawned on me that I had this thing I had bought months prior that is to clean, like, keyboards and computer parts and stuff. And it worked great. So today I went to the place where I had bought it to see if they had some more, and they did. So I bought 5 because they were so great. It's called Super Clean. And it's like this green slime kind of stuff. I don't want to open it because I want to save it. I mean, I suppose I could, but if I start playing with it, then I'm going to want to keep playing with it, I think. And the one that I used got so dirty because I was using it to get all that dust and debris and stuff out that I can't really use it again, so. But you're supposed to be able to reuse this over and over, but it's not typically made to clean out debris from, a ceiling falling in. It's supposed to be for, like, typical dust and, stuff that gathers in your computer, on your keyboard and stuff, Just normal stuff. But it was fantastic. I'm telling you, I was so happy that I had this. I couldn't believe what a great job it did. And I'm still finding dust in there too. I mean, it's still dusty, but thank goodness the computer still works. But anyway, I mean, it's tempting to open this. I guess I could. I suppose if it'll let me. All right, I'll open it. I mean, it's an ASMR thing, so, you know, that's why I originally bought it. I originally bought it so that I could do a video with it. And I never did. And then I ended up needing it. And I was just really happy. Okay, I can't see what I'm doing. So, I'm trying to get this. There it is. Can't really hear any sound though. But it's cool. I mean, it really is. It's just like green slime. And maybe that's, you know, maybe that's all you'd really need to even clean this stuff. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything special in this that, you know, protects your computer components or anything like that, but it's so cool. Can't really hear it. It's very relaxing though. It's like, it's cool. But I definitely want to keep these, you know, because it came in so handy. I probably could have done a better job had I had a second one, you know, at the time I was cleaning it, but when I first bought it, I didn't even know if it would work, you know. I thought, well, it could be one of those gimmicky kind of things, you know, but it works. I highly recommend it, especially if you're wanting to clean your keyboard and stuff, you know, with just normal wear and tear stuff, you know what I mean? It should last for a while, because you just reuse it, and you don't, and I haven't seen anything on here that says you wash it off or anything. I think you just use it and then you store it back in this bag. It's got like a Ziploc kind of a thing, but it's cool. I like it. And it has a little thing on the back, which I'll show you. It has like a little window so you can see the color of what it looks like when it's new, and then they show you a picture here when it looks like that you throw it away. So that's when you change it. So that's cool that you can see it and you know this is when I'll need to change it. So yeah. Super clean. The high-tech cleaning compound. So yes, I'm not endorsed by them, but I approve. And I like it. So anyway, well, I guess that was really all I was going to talk about, was just kind of update on, you know, what my week was like after the ceiling collapse, and what it was, you know, what it was like to go through. Hopefully none of you ever have to go through that, and if you ever have gone through that, then you know what I'm talking about. It's, you know, it's a big mess, and it's a lot of work, and I'm just glad it's done. And now I can look around, and I'm just like, wow, it looks so pretty now. Because I had been wishing that I could paint in here anyway, because, I mean, when I moved in, it was kind of like, it needs a paint job, you know, but I wasn't even sure I was going to stay here at first. It's a long story. I was going to go back to the States, and I changed my mind. But anyway, So yeah, I've been wishing that I could paint, and so now I have, and I'm really pleased with it. So it feels very nice. So I'm happy. I'm happy it's all done. Now I can just enjoy it, and the cats are happy to be back home because they were not very happy over there, even though I took one of their cat trees over and stuff, so they had stuff to do in their cat tunnel. It was just that place next door was not. It was okay for them. Anyway, I'll just leave it at that. So, anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope this wasn't, too boring or anything, but I enjoyed talking about it because it was nice to be able to tell somebody how things have been for the last week. So thank you for listening, and I hope to do another video soon. Originally I was wanting to do one every day until this happened, and that kind of put a wrench in the mix for the week. So hopefully now I can get back to making videos more regularly, and hopefully enjoy videos like this, because I really enjoy doing videos like this. I mean, talking and just kind of hanging out. I enjoy that. So I hope you'll enjoy it, and I will try to do regular ASMR videos too. Don't get me wrong. So got a couple of people requesting some things, and I'm hoping that maybe I can get something done with that soon. There's just so much to clean up still that it just might take me a minute. But anyway, thanks again, and have a good one wherever you are, and I will see you soon. Bye.